to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
Hey guys, it's Jay with your NXT review. I'm going to do pretty much a combination of everything that happened this week because so much happened and I don't even know. I'm just going to meld it all to one. Maybe you guys can hear my voice. Not too thrilled. And if any of you watched the show, which I'm assuming you did or you wouldn't be listening to me, you know what happened at the very end of the NXT show on Tuesday night. A thing that nobody expected. Nobody expected it. We all thought that if anybody was going to beat Stephanie Vaquer, it would be Jordynne Grace. That's what I thought anyway. I originally thought that Stephanie was eventually slotted to go to the main roster and that Jordynne would win the title. Jordynne, in fact, did not win. Not only did Jordynne not win the title on Sunday at Battleground, but then she also wasn't anywhere to be found at the NXT show this week. So that's interesting. The NXT show, let me just say, the NXT episode on Tuesday night was awesome. It was a great show. They surprised people twice, from what I gather anyway. They surprised us twice with two title changes on Tuesday night. There was one title change on Sunday night at Battleground, and that wasn't even an NXT title. It was the TNA World Championship. Oh. Wow. I'm gonna go through what happened at the show on Tuesday, and I'm gonna interject some stuff from Battleground. I apologize for not getting it out. It's been crazy. Life's been crazy, but I wanted to get this one done today because number one, it's what I love to do. Number two, how could I not report on what happened on Tuesday? Now, I've heard some rumors that after Stephanie lost the title, that her and Jordynne and Ricky Saints, spoiler alert, he lost as well, are going to the main roster so that some more new talent could come up from Evolve and from ID and from other places. I don't know if that's true. It would make sense. They definitely could make things better in the main roster. I don't see how any of those guys would make anything. I don't think anybody would go the way of the Blair Davenports or Kiana Jameses, I would think. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. People just get brought up for NXT for nothing. Dijak, I don't even know if he had a match. Or he definitely had a match on the main event, and then was not his contract wasn't renewed. What's the point of bringing him up then? So obviously, Ricky Saints, Jordynne Grace, Stephanie Vaquer, vastly different than Dijak, way different than Dijak. We already have Fraxium, we have Julia, we have Roxanne, and the new, they moved up to the main roster already. So we'll see what happens. Oh, wow. What an episode. The episode started out, so let's talk about the episode. So, results for NXT on May 27th, 2025 from the Performance Center. Now, this show was originally supposed to be taking place at Tampa, where everything else was taking place. But I think from what I hear, ticket sales were low. I mean, think about it. We're talking Saturday there was a show in that arena. Sunday there's a show in that arena. Monday there's a show in that. But I'm sure people in Tampa were just like, I can't do a fourth show in Tampa. Not to mention 2 hours down the road, you've got the Performance Center. Why would you stay in Tampa? So anyway, bottom line is that they moved this event from Tampa back to the Performance Center. Had they known what was going to happen, maybe they could have. I don't know, but anyway. You have commentators Vic Joseph, Booker T, and Corey Graves, and your ring announcer, Mike Rome. And Mike Rome, I got to talk about him later, too. First match we had was Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page for the WWE NXT North American Championship. This match was put on first. There's a reason why. They use the reason, well, we need to get this settled as soon as possible. There's actually a reason why. We'll discuss it later, too. So, this was a great friggin' match. And it ends with Ethan Page shenanigans. And not that anybody else came out, but Ethan Page just did what Ethan Page does best. Just being an ass. He gives a twisted grin, which is basically like the twist of fate that Jeff Hardy does. He gave a twisted grin to Ricky Saints on a chair, like the crossbar of a chair, which killed his throat. Kayfabe. Killed his throat. Ricky Saints, that is. Eventually got him back in the ring. They went back and forth a little bit more. And then, while Ricky Saints was going for his finishing move, which I forgot what it's called. I'll figure it out eventually. Ethan Page gets off of him over the ropes and then snaps the top rope into Ricky Saints' throat. Like, I've never seen that before. I think it's duh. I mean, of course, it's a great move. If you can do it, if you can pull it off. Gets back in the ring, gives him another twisted grin, and he is your new NXT North American champion. And again, Ethan Page is the best heel. As far as I'm concerned, he is one of the, if not the best heel in the company. And watching people chase him for this title will be entertaining. And it's going to start at Worlds Collide, which we're going to talk about. Great match. Amazing match. There was every match was B level or higher. Let's just say that. But yeah. And if Ricky Saints does end up going to the main roster, it's going to be sad to not see him going against Ethan Page and Shawn Spears, because the three of them have just such good chemistry together, and they always have. So then we got Sarah backstage with Fatal Influence. Jacy Jane says that all she had to do was slap the champion and she get a title match. And, there's still back and forth, arguing between the three of them, mostly between Jacy Jane and Fallon Henley. So then we have a vignette on Mike Santana, who is a TNA wrestler who has come over. He was on Battleground and said he was looking to challenge the person that won the TNA World Championship between Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. Trick Williams, for those of you that don't know by now, Trick Williams is the TNA champion, beat Joe Hendry, again, with shenanigans. It's, he brought the title in the ring. Yes, he wasn't directly involved in hitting Joe Hendry over the head with the title, but that's essentially what happened. And Joe Hendry lost the match. By the way, I finally broke down and got the TNA Plus plan for my iPhone and for my Roku. So I'll be interested to see TNA moving forward. And it's $10 a month that I pretty much don't have, but you know what? I'm getting pulled to watch it, so I just decided to do it. Whew. Then we got Yoshiki Nomura. If you don't know, he's back in NXT after a brief return to Japan. He tells Josh Briggs that he's got his back to get to the NXT Tag Team Championships. He came back at Battleground when it was a 6-man tag match, and Shawn Spears told Izzy Dane to get a chair, and come to find out that the chair was being held by Yoshiki Inamura, and the four of them came in and cleaned out Hank and Tank, Josh Briggs. They ended up winning the match, which I was kind of surprised about, to be honest. I didn't think, of all the matches I got wrong, I got that one wrong, which I'm surprised about. But they're really pushing Hank and Tank, and I understand that. I agree with it. They're really fun. People really like them. I think they should push them. Obviously, they're tag team champions as well. Second match we have is Mike Santana versus Tavion Heights. There's some issues with the No Quarter Catch crew, like Charlie Dempsey's not getting along as well with, of course, Miles Bourne, who ended up losing. Again, I'm sprinkling stuff in. Miles Bourne ended up losing to Obafemi, to the surprise of no one. I mean, did anybody actually think, hey, Miles Bourne's got a chance? I mean, listen, I like the way they did it. They boosted up Miles Bourne. They did a good job with that. They didn't make Obafemi an ass about him. Like, he really supported Miles. Like, he just said, I'm going to beat you, and he did. But now we've got Tavion Heights going against Mike Santana. There was just, some friendly back and forth banter at Battleground. They decided to have a match on Tuesday. They did. Mike Santana was great. This was a great match. Tavion Heights looked great. Mike Santana looks like a star. And he's going to be the next person to go against Trick Williams on next Tuesday, actually, for the TNA World title at NXT on Tuesday. I'm guessing Trick Williams is going to be there tonight. This is Thursday as I'm recording it. I'm guessing Trick Williams is going to be at TNA tonight. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I haven't been following it up until now. So now that I can, I'm going to check that out and see what's going on with that. So Mike Santana won the match, by the way. It was, like I said, it was a great match between him and Tavion Heights. There was a lot of respect shown at the end of the match, like shaking of hands. Charlie Dempsey's flipping out. Charlie Dempsey clearly wants to be a heel, and everybody else wants to be, respectful. I don't even say babyface, but just, respectful. Anyway, it was a good match. It was a really good match. I'm kind of going fast because it's been a long week, and I wanna get through everything as best I can. Then we've got Andre Chase backstage telling Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors that they need to stop being so overzealous and demanding matches without a plan. They need to balance seizing the moment and falling back. Uriah says they can take more risks. Kale and Uriah walk up to Ava, relay the message that they interpreted from Mr. Chase, and then Ava tells Kale and Uriah that they can have a match with Dark State next week, but with a twist. It's not going to be a tag team match. It will be a 6-man tag, and Mr. Chase is, quote, pissed. I'm reading pissed. And he reminds Kale and Uriah that they are not a team. Then there's commentary briefly about went over with Tony D'Angelo and Stax. If you didn't see it, which I assumed you did, Crucifino came out and just kind of stood there during the match and distracted Tony, and Tony ended up losing to Stax at Battleground, which I think I got that one right. I think I got that one my projections. Then you've got Trick Williams coming out, and I'm not going to read the whole thing of what he said, but basically he's, let's talk about it. He beat Joe Hendry. Now he's a 2-time NXT champ, 1-time North American champ, and an Iron Survivor winner, and a TNA champion. By the way, he was North American champion for all of 2 days. Yes, technically it's a title run, fine, but he won on Saturday, he lost to Dominic on Monday that time. That's fine. Eventually Mike Santana comes out, says that he's the big man on the block. He basically says he's not his champion, that he's going to take the title from him. He says, you ain't my champion. Secondly, you made the first terrible first impression by coming out here as TNA champion and tearing down TNA. So, clearly, Trick is still NXT through and through, but he's the champion of TNA. This is, by the way, in what universe, in what multiverse Earth do we have a WWE guy, Trick Williams, holding the TNA World title, which you know, I didn't watch it back then, but if you just think 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, like, they were such rival companies. They were stealing each other's wrestlers back and forth. Anyway, so then Santana comes out and says, yes, we're going to have a title match next Tuesday. He was on the screen, actually. We're going to have a title match next Tuesday between Trick Williams and Mike Santana. So, let's load it up. So, then we've got Ava telling Stephanie Vaquer that she needs to find a tag team partner for her match against Dallas and Chick Tormenta at Worlds Collide. So it's going to be... So then Lola Vice comes out and says, hey, I'll be your tag team partner. It's going to be Lola Vice. Oh, I heard Lola Vice may be going up to the main roster, too. I heard that's a rumor as well. I don't know if that's true, but that would make sense. I mean, the only thing about Lola is she hasn't won any titles at all, from what I remember. I mean, she won the one tournament last year, but other than that, she really didn't. She hasn't won any titles. But if that doesn't matter, I could definitely see her doing well on probably the SmackDown brand. Who knows? Let's see what happens. So we have a match between Jada Parker and Tatum Paxley, and this is as a result of Jada Parker just being a complete ass to Tatum Paxley. Tatum, I love how they're using, it's sad and it's cool at the same time, how they're using letting go of Shotzi and Gigi to make Tatum upset and keep the storyline moving. I like how she's friending someone who's just as crazy, but in a different way in Thea Hale. Like Tatum Paxley and Thea Hale, they're like in the show Wednesday, the two girls. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good analogy, I think. But anyway, this match was really good. Tatum and Jada both put on great matches. At the end, Jada messes with the dolls, and Tatum goes to get them, and then Jada gives her a hypnotic hip bump and ends up pinning Tatum Paxley. So it was a great match, though. It was a really good match. Like I said, they're both really good. Then we learn a little bit more about Jasper Troy, who's the LFG winner from Season 1. And then we have a match between Jasper Troy and Dante Chen. And this was a squash match. And they had to mention, that he's still recovering from getting his foot something bashed in again from Ethan Page a couple months ago. So not only is so now it just kind of, to me, it diminishes what Jasper Troy's first match is being. I don't know. Like I said, this is the only match I would say that was less than spectacular. Because it was a squash match. It was Jasper Troy coming in to show what he can do. And he's a big dude. He's going to be great against Oba Femi. Oba did come out at the end of the match after Jasper Troy squashed Dante Chen and said that he is going to, when he's ready for a challenge, he will get a shot at the title, which, hey, come right up and have a shot at the title. Then we go back to No Quarter Catch Cruz Dojo, and Charlie says he's proud of Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights with the recent performances. However, they've also proved that they still can't get the job done as singles. Oops. They can't get the job done as singles wrestlers. And Dempsey says that the group needs to refocus. Bourne says he's not going to just retreat because he lost to Obafemi at Battleground. He proved that he belongs on the PLE stage. Dempsey then says that Bourne is not ready to navigate the waters on his own. Bourne challenges Dempsey to a rounds match, and if Bourne wins, he'll leave NQCC. Dude, just leave. Like, yeah, okay, cool, they have a match. Hope Miles Bourne is probably going to win. But, leave. Who cares? Bye. See ya. Whatever. Then we have a segment where Ethan Page, after, mind you, less than an hour ago, winning, an hour before this, winning the North American Championship, comes out in a suit and the title and says, ladies and gentlemen, standing before you is arguably the greatest North American to hold the NXT North American Championship, and I am waiting to celebrate. We are celebrating tonight. It looks so good on me. Then Javon Evans, this was, by the way, this vignette, or this thing was very sweet and to the point. And it's set up. Javon Evans comes on and says, "Dang, you turned up and didn't invite me like we got history. I'm still waiting on you to pay for my jaw injury. But you know what? Congratulations, bro. I cannot think of anybody more undeserving to win the NXT North American Championship. Like, if we're going to be dead ass, last week when you pulled up on me during the triple threat match, you cost me, and I couldn't live with that. So earlier tonight, after you won, I was talking to Ava, and since we have this big showcase with WWE and AAA called Worlds Collide, you, champ, will be defending that precious the NXT North American Championship at Worlds Collide against me, the young OG." And Ethan says, "Javon, you do not deserve a shot at this. You deserve to put on a mask even though you're not a luchador, pal." Javon says, "You're right. Worlds Collide is not just about NXT. You got a lot of people gunning for you, but everybody in NXT knows that this boy is bouncy. But the brother right here got hops too." And the Laredo kid comes out from AAA. Says, thank you, Javon. Let me introduce myself. I am Laredo Kid, the most complete luchador you will ever see. I won championships from AAA to TNA, and now I'm coming for the NXT North American Championship. Ethan Page says, whoa. Now you guys are talking about a triple threat match? No, tonight was a celebration for me, and I'm not going to allow the two of you to ruin my night. And Javon Evans says, "Oh no, I forgot, my bad. You're still going against one more person." And then Rey Fenix comes out. It's so good to be in NXT. The passion, the spirit. This is Rey Fenix. Everyone has been telling me about it. Ethan Page, you just won the title, but unfortunately for you, next Saturday you're going to lose it at Worlds Collide. It will be a fatal four-way for the NXT North American Champion. I hope all of you are ready, because that night I'm going to bring that fire. I'm going to burn you up anymore. This match, it's sad. It's really sad that this match is going to be on YouTube. So, for those of you that don't know, AAA Worlds Collide is going to be at 3 p.m. on the 7th of June, streaming on YouTube. This is going to be an awesome event. You should see it. You should watch it. Or if you don't watch it that day, watch it at some point. You should watch it. This is just an example of that. Then Robert Stone said, and they go back to Ava's office. Robert Stone says he can't believe Ava's forcing Ethan Page to defend the title, yada, yada, yada. And they talk about Evolve from the next day. And so Ruka go to Tatum Paxley, and they know she's going through a rough time. And if she needs somebody to talk to, they'll be there for her. We saw the calling lurking in the background. Then the last match, we already talked about it. It's Stephanie Vaquer versus Jacy Jane. For those of you that don't remember, Jacy Jane slapped Stephanie at the end of Battleground. And this was a good match. There were shenanigans at the end where Fallon Henley got involved. And to the surprise of the entire world, Jacy Jane pins Stephanie Vaquer. And Mike Rome, the look on Mike Rome's face said it all. If you know what I'm talking about, they pan to Mike Rome, and he's just got a look on his face like, what just happened? And the person next to him, I guess it was the director, was like poking him to say, you got to say the words. New NXT champion, women's champion, Jacy Jane. Jacy Jane. Yeah. Now, Jacy Jane has put her dues in over the years. Don't get me wrong. She has been there for a long time. There's a lot of people that have come and a lot of people that have gone. And she has stuck with NXT. So, kudos to her. But beating Stephanie the way she did, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Anyway, that was NXT on Tuesday. It was a great show. It was a really great show. WWE and NXT shocked the world, which these days with social media is very difficult to do. Very difficult indeed. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to us. We look forward to hearing from you. I'm always checking the Discord server, so please, you can always send me a message on Discord if you're a Patreon. And I will definitely get back to you if you call out my name. All right? Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.